Hello students, good morning to all of you. So in yesterday's video, we just started to learn the new topic and that topic was Introduction to Polymer Chemistry. So in the introduction of that topic, we studied first of all the definition of polymer. After that, we just started to learn in detail the classification of polymers. So polymers can be classified in different ways. In yesterday's video, we studied classification on the basis of source or origin, and after that we completed one another classification, and that classification was classification of polymers on the basis of structures. So we completed two classification of polymers in yesterday's video. Now, today we are going to study the next type of classification, and that classification is classification of polymers on the basis of mode of polymerization. This is the third type of classification. So remember that low molecular mass material containing reactive groups can be converted into high molecular mass material at high temperature. And or pressure then and or by using the catalyst. So low molecular mass material which possessing reactive group, it can be converted into high molecular mass material by using high temperature or by using high pressure or by using catalyst. In this way, low molecular mass material it is converted into higher molecular mass material. So there are three modes of polymerization. According to the type of reactions taking place between the monomers. In another word, we can say that on the basis of type of reaction taking place between monomers, there are three different modes of polymerization. So among that, the first mode of polymerization is addition polymerization, or it is also called as chain growth polymerization. This is the first type. Then second one, it is the condensation polymerization, and third one, it is the ring opening polymerization. So these are the three modes of polymerization: addition polymerization, condensation polymerization, and ring opening polymerization. So let's study the first mode of polymerization, that is the addition polymerization or chain growth polymerization. So it is a process of formation of polymer. So it is a process of formation of polymers. So it is a process of formation of polymer by addition of monomers. Without loss of any small molecules. So this is called as addition polymerization. Listen once again. So addition polymerization, it is nothing but it is a process of formation It is a process of formation of polymer by addition of monomers without loss of any simple or small molecules like water, then alcohol, etc. This is called as addition polymerization. So compounds containing double bond, they undergoes addition polymerization. Those compound which contains double bond, they undergoes addition polymerization. So it is also called as addition polymerization. It is also called as vinyl polymerization because majority of monomers are from vinyl category. So addition polymerization or chain group polymerization, it is also called as vinyl polymerization because majority of monomers, they are from the vinyl category. For example, vinyl chloride. So vinyl chloride having the formulation CH2 double bond CHCl. So CH2 double bond CH, it is vinyl group, and chlorine it is attached, that's why its name is vinyl chloride. Or another example is acrylonitrile having the formula CH2 double bond CHCl. So another example, it is the acrylonitrile. So it having the formula CH2 double bond CHCl. So addition polymerization, they are also called as vinyl polymerization because majority of monomers are from the vinyl category. For example, monomers, they may be vinyl cyanide or vinyl chloride or acrylonitrile. So formation of polyethylene or polythene from ethylene, it is the well-known example of addition polymerization. Well-known example of addition polymerization is formation of polyethylene or polythene from ethylene. So free radical mechanism is most common in addition polymerization. So free radical mechanism, it is most common in addition polymerization. That means during addition polymerization, reactants gets converted into product by means of free radical mechanism. So this free radical mechanism, it involves three different stages. First one, it is the chain initiation. Then second one, it is the chain propagation, and third one, it is the chain termination. So free radical mechanism, it involves these three steps. Let's study the first step, that is the chain initiation. So chain initiation, it is initiated by free radical. So chain initiation, it is initiated by free radical. That means this step, it takes place when there is the formation of free radical. So different initiators are used to start the reaction. Initiators are nothing but the substance or compounds which just start the reactions. So different initiators used are benzoyl peroxide, then another one it is the acetyl peroxide, then another example it is the tertiary butyl peroxide. So these are the examples of initiators. Initiators are nothing but the substance or compound which just start the reaction. For example, benzoyl peroxide, acetyl peroxide, or tertiary butyl peroxide. These are the various examples of initiators. So let's study the example. So acetyl peroxide, it generates methyl free radical as shown below. So formulation of acetyl peroxide, it is as like this: CH3, C double bond O, then here O, then here O, then here C double bond O, then here CH3. So acetyl peroxide, it generates methyl radical. So this is the representation of acetyl peroxide. So it produces free radical. How it produces free radical? So here there are two electrons involved in this single bond. One electron it is gets shifted towards this oxygen, and one electron it is gets shifted towards this oxygen. These are the single-headed arrows. Two electrons from this bond, they get shifted towards this one oxygen and towards this oxygen. One electron it is shifted on this oxygen and one electron it is shifted on this oxygen. So thus the species form is CH3, then here C double bond O, then here O. So CH3, C double bond O, here O, and here one electron it is coming from this bond. So likewise another species, that is CH3, C double bond O and O. Here one electron is coming from this bond to this oxygen atom. These two are the same. That's why here we have to write twice. Twice of CH3, C double bond O, O dot. So such free radical it is formed. Then after that, this free radical it loses carbon dioxide. How it loses carbon dioxide? So this bond gets broken here. One of the electron it is gets shifted to this CH3, and another electron from this it is gets shifted towards this oxygen. Thus here elimination of this CO2 takes place. So here I am writing here minus CO2. So here one electron from this bond it is gets shifted towards this carbon atom. That's why the radical form it is the CH3 dot. So this is the methyl free radical. So thus here methyl free radical is formed. Here 2 is it is written, that's why we can write here also twice. So in this way formation of methyl radical takes place from the initiator, and that initiator it is the acetyl peroxide. So the free radical, say R dot. The free radical, say R dot. Here CH3 dot. Instead of it, we can represent in general fashion the free radical, say R dash. So form attaches itself to vinyl monomer and produces a new radical. See once again. So the radical form here, we can call this radical as a new radical or free radical. So the free radical, say R dot, it attaches itself to vinyl monomer or olefin and produces new radical. Let's represent the reaction. So this radical, it is generally represented by R dot. So here R dot, this is the free radical which is generated in the first step. Free radical R dot. So it attaches itself to vinyl monomer or olefin. Let's take the example, that is vinyl monomer, vinyl group, that is CH2 double bond CH, and to this CH, why it is attached. So this is the vinyl monomer. So free radical R dot, it attaches to the vinyl monomer. So during this attachment, electron from this bond, it is gets shifted towards this CH2, and one electron from this bond, it is gets shifted towards this CH, and then this R, it is gets attached to this CH2. So here formation of R, then here CH2. Here one electron is present on the free radical. Here one electron, it is present on this CH2. So these two electrons, they forms bond between R and CH2 here. So R CH2, then here one of the electron, it is shifted on this carbon atom, that's why here CH we have to write here dot, and then another species, it is the Y. So thus formation of new radical takes place. Formation of new radical takes place in this step. Then the next step, it is the chain propagation step. So the new radical form in the initiation step. This is the new radical form in the initiation step. It adds or it reacts with another molecule of vinyl monomer. It reacts with another molecule of vinyl monomer, and here another still bigger sized radical is formed. Listen once again. New radical formed in the initiation step, that is this radical. It reacts with another molecule of vinyl monomer, and it forms another still bigger radical. So this bigger radical is formed in this step, and it then reacts with another monomer molecule. So it is called a chain propagation. Repetition of step takes place and chain gets propagated here. Listen once again. So new radical which is formed in the first step, that is R, then here CH2, then here CHY. Here one radical is present on this carbon atom. So new radical formed in the initiation step. It combines with another molecule of vinyl monomer. So another molecule of vinyl monomer, that is CH2 double bond CH and Y. So here this one molecule of vinyl monomer, this is another molecule of vinyl monomer. So here this vinyl monomer, it combines with this free radical. So here one of the electron from this bond, it is gets shifted towards this carbon, another bond, it is gets shifted towards this carbon, and then this radical, it combines with this vinyl monomer as like this. So R here CH2, R here CH2, then here CH, then here CH, and here Y. So here this new radical, it is formed here. So here this RCH2CHY, then here n number of monomers are taking here chain propagation step. This is the chain propagation step. So here there are n number of CH2 double bond CHY, and here formation of R, then CH2, then CHY, R CH2 CHY. So this is n number, that's why here we have to write the n numbers. Then here next it is the CH2. This double bond it is shifted, that's why only single bond it is remaining. Then here CH, one of the electron it is transferred on this carbon atom, that's why here we have to make the dot, and here Y. So in this way this new radical is formed. So here there is not the electron R CH2 CHY n times CH2 CH dot and Y. Such new radical it is formed in the chain propagation step. So this step it is very rapid. This step it is very rapid. It takes place very fast and leads to high molecular mass material. Leads to high molecular mass material. Then the third step in the free radical mechanism is chain termination step. This is the third step in the free radical mechanism. So free radical mechanism, it having the last step, that is the chain termination step. So ultimately termination of growing chain takes place. So by means of several process, chain termination takes place. One mode of termination is by combination of two growing chain radicals. So see here, this is the radical formed in the chain propagation step, that is R. Then here CH2, R CH2, then CH, then here Y. So here this having the n number. Then here next CH2, then next CHY. There is one electron present on this carbon atom. So here one mode of termination is by combination of two growing chain. This is first growing chain. So here one again growing chain combines with this, that's why we have to write here twice. So twice of these new free radicals, or these two free radicals combines, and thus forms here R, then here CH2, R, then here CH2, then next it is the CH, then Y, CHY n plus 1. Then here next it is CHY, then here CH2, then here again n plus 1, and so on. Here R. So here RCH2, CHY n times, RCH2 CHY n times. Two radicals are added, therefore n plus 1 time. Then another such type of radical, it gets attached. So see here R then CH2, R then CH2, here also R then CH2, then CHY, then CHY. So this radical and this radical, they combines together in such a way that growing chain radicals are formed. So this is the third step, that is the chain termination step. So here mode of termination, it is by combination of two growing chain. These two growing chain, they combine with each other and thus termination occurs here. So after discussing in detail about the first mode of polymerization, that is addition polymerization, now we are going to study the next mode of polymerization, and that next mode of polymerization is, next one, it is the condensation polymers. So let's study the next one, that is the condensation polymers. See here, this is the next mode of polymerization, condensation polymerization. So condensation polymerization, it is nothing but it is the process of formation of polymer. It is the process of formation of polymer. So process of formation of polymer from polyfunctional monomers, with elimination of small molecules like water or HCl or methyl alcohol or ammonia, etc. is called condensation polymerization. So this is the definition of condensation polymerization. So condensation polymerization, it is nothing but it is the process of formation of polymer from polyfunctional monomers with elimination of small molecules like H2O, HCl, methyl alcohol or ammonia is called as condensation polymerization. So in this type of polymerization, chain growth occurs. In this type of polymerization, chain growth occurs by a series of condensation steps. Chain growth occurs by series of condensation steps. Therefore, this polymerization, it is also called as step growth polymerization. This is the another name of this type of polymerization. So this process is continued till high molecular mass polymer is obtained. So this is the condensation polymer. So condensation polymer, it is nothing but it is the process of formation of polymer from polyfunctional compound, means compound which contains more than one functional group, with elimination of small molecule like water, HCl, methyl alcohol, ammonia is called as condensation polymerization. So here chain growth occurs. In such type of polymerization, chain growth occurs by series of condensation steps. That's why this condensation polymerization, it is also called as step growth polymerization. The next mode of polymerization is ring opening polymerization. So cyclic compounds like cyclic compounds like lactams, cyclic ethers, then lactones, etc. They polymerize by ring opening polymerization. Cyclic compounds like lactones, or cyclic ethers, their polymerization or they polymerize by ring opening polymerization. So to understand this, let's take one example. For example, polymerization of epsilon caprolactam. Polymerization of epsilon caprolactam. So epsilon caprolactam, it is the monomer and its polymerization is taking place. So polymerization of epsilon caprolactam, it is the ring opening polymerization. See here the reaction. So epsilon caprolactam having the formula here NH, here this is cyclic structure, to this NH it is attached, then here, so this is the structural formula of epsilon caprolactam. So epsilon caprolactam, it undergoes ring opening polymerization and then here forms this polymer NHCH2 5 times, then here C double bond O, then here N times. So in this way, such type of polymer is formed. So epsilon caprolactam, its ring opening takes place, and when such units are joined, large number of units are joined, then formation of polymer takes place. See here NH, this is NH, then CH2 1 2 3 4 5, CH2 5 times, then here next it is the CO, and this bond is breaker. So such polymerization is called as ring opening polymerization. Here ring opening takes place. So here we finished this particular classification, that is classification based on mode of polymerization. Classification based on mode of polymerization, here we finished. Then after, we are going to study the next classification, and that classification is classification of polymers on the basis of intermolecular forces. So in the polymers, polymeric chains are present, and in between polymeric chains, intermolecular forces are present, and on this basis, polymer can be classified. So mechanical properties of polymers like tensile strength, toughness, then elasticity differ widely depending upon intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces. Listen once again. The mechanical properties of polymer. Mechanical properties of polymer like tensile strength, toughness, elasticity, they differ widely, and that depends on intermolecular forces present in them. So here polymers are classified on the basis of this intermolecular force, like elastomers, the next one it is the fibers, the next one it is the thermoplastic polymers, and last one it is the thermosetting polymers. So on the basis of intermolecular forces, polymers are classified as elastomers, fibers, thermoplastic polymers, and thermosetting polymers. Let's study the first one, that is the elastomers. So elasticity, it is the property by which a substance gets stretched by external force and restores its original shape on the release of that force, and restores, and here restores its original shape, and restores its original shape. Listen once again. So elastomers, we are studying the elastomers. So elasticity, it is a property. Elasticity, it is a property by which substance gets stretched by external force and restores to its original shape on the release of that particular force. So elastomers, they have weak van der Waals type of intermolecular force between their polymeric chain. Elastomers have weak van der Waals type of force which permits the polymer to be stretched. So elastomers, they can be stretched. Why they can be stretched? Because in their polymeric chain, weak force, that is van der Waals force, is present. So on removal of applied force, what happens here? So on removal of applied force, few crosslinks between chain helps to retract its original position. So this is about the elastomers. So different examples of elastomers are vulcanized rubber. For example, vulcanized rubber. Then another example, it is the Buna S rubber, then Buna N rubber, etc. So these are the examples of elastomers. Then next, it is the fibers. Next type of polymer, it is the fibers. So polymeric solid which form threads. Polymeric solid which forms threads are called as fibers. This is the definition of fibers. So polymeric threads or polymeric solids which form threads are called as fibers. So fiber possesses high tensile strength due to strong intermolecular forces. Like hydrogen bonding. Then another type of force, it is the strong dipole force. So due to strong intermolecular forces like hydrogen bonding, dipole force, etc., fibers are crystalline in nature. In the examination, question may be asked, why fibers are crystalline in nature? At that time, we have to explain this in this way. So fibers having definition as like this: polymer solid which forms threads are called as fibers. So fibers having high tensile strength, and this is due to strong intermolecular forces like hydrogen bonding, dipole interaction, or dipole forces. So that's why fibers are crystalline in nature. So let's take the examples of these fibers. For example, nylon 66, nylon 66, or terylene, terylene, etc. So these are the examples of fibers. Then next polymer, it is the thermoplastic polymers. So these polymers, they have these polymers they have strong intermolecular forces. They have strong intermolecular forces. So these fibers having strong intermolecular forces and that are intermediate between intermediate between elastomers and fibers. Listen once again. Thermoplastic polymers, they have strong intermolecular forces and that are intermediate. They having strong intermolecular forces, but these forces are intermediate between the elastomers and fibers. So they are capable of softening on heating. They are capable of softening on heating and hardening on cooling. This is the property of thermoplastic polymers. So thermoplastic polymers, they on heating they become soft and on cooling they becomes hard. This is the characteristic property of thermoplastic polymers. So let's study the examples of thermoplastic polymers. So for example, polythene. Then another example, it is the polystyrene. So polythene, polystyrene are the examples of thermoplastic polymers. Then the last type of polymer in this classification is thermosetting polymers. So thermosetting polymers, they are the rigid polymers. Thermosetting polymers, they are the rigid polymers. So these polymer possesses cross links or high branching. They possesses cross link in their polymeric chain, or in another word, they having the high branching. In their polymeric chain. So these thermosetting polymer on heating, they undergoes heavy cross-linking. And becomes hard. So therefore they cannot be used. Why they cannot be used? Because they becomes very hard on heating. They undergoes heavy cross-linking and becomes hard. That's why they cannot be used. For example, urea formaldehyde resin. urea formaldehyde, that is SCHO, urea formaldehyde resin. It is the example of thermosetting polymer, or its another example is bakelite. So these are the examples of thermosetting polymers. So here we finished classification of polymers on the basis of intermolecular forces. So we will stop here. Thank you.